Sealing in the Southcottian movement was the practice by which followers received a certificate or seal, signifying their place among those specially marked out in relation to Joanna Southcott's prophetic mission. But the practice was much more than paperwork. It was one of the main social and spiritual technologies by which the movement gathered commitment and drew boundaries and made prophetic claims feel tangled. Southcott's world was full of words. There were prophecies, pamphlets, letters, interpretations, controversies. Sealing turned that world into an action. You do not simply agree that Joanna might be inspired. You sought a sign of belonging, a token of participation in the people being prepared for what God was about to do. And that's why sealing is not trivial. Movements endure when they can give visible form to invisible claims, and the seal does that. It takes expectation and gives it an object, something to keep and show and remember. It helps a movement distinguish insiders from the merely curious, and sealing therefore worked out at more than one level. It was devotional, organized, and psychological. The theology around it was bound up with preparation, judgment, election, and to be sealed was not simply to join a club. It suggested participation in a people marked out by God in a decisive apocalyptic moment. That gave the practice urgency, because if history is nearing a great turning point, then signs of divine recognition matter. So sealing concentrated eschatology into personal action. Critics obviously saw this as a danger. They suspected manipulation, false assurance, and some kind of prophetic theatre. A certificate could seem a poor substitute for genuine holiness. And in one sense, they're right, because no movement can guarantee salvation through paper. But from inside the movement, the seal was not a magical object detached from belief. It was part of the larger world of obedience, recognition, and expectations. The seal linked print culture to embodied commitment. Joanna Southcott was a prophet of the age of pamphlets. Her movement spread through texts, witnesses, and procedures, and the seal fitted that environment perfectly. It was portable, repeatable, recognizable, probably profitable, and that helped a movement scale. It gave a prophetic religion a bureaucratic edge without losing its aura. And the practice helps explain why Southcottianism did not remain a vague atmosphere. It developed structure. A movement with signs, procedures, and marks of belonging can hold people more effectively than a movement of pure excitement alone. Sealing is one of the reasons that Southcott's followers had durability. So sealing in the Southcottian movement was the practice of receiving a formal sign of belonging to Joanna Southcott's prophetic cause, a visible mark of participation in a people being prepared for divine intervention. It shows how prophecy becomes social, not only spoken or only believed, but organized, handled, and carried. And once revelation can be sealed, the movement has found a way to make expectation concrete.